My name is Aurora Vale. I'm 23 years old. I was supposed to inherit everything quietly. Instead, I declared war on my own family in front of London's most ruthless lawyers. And I did it with my grandfather's steel in my spine and fire in my voice. This isn't a family reunion, it's a battlefield. One built from greed, entitlement, and the cold realization that blood doesn't guarantee loyalty. I was the grieving granddaughter. Then I became the warrior. This is what happens when you underestimate a woman who's lost everything except her fight. If you've ever been dismissed, manipulated, or told you don't deserve what's rightfully yours, this story is for you. Like, share, subscribe, because what you're about to witness isn't just a family feud. It's the birth of a legacy defender. Welcome to the inheritance war. I stand by the mahogany desk, its surface littered with remnants of his last days. An unmade cup of tea, a half-finished crossword puzzle, and the worn-out leather journal he kept tucked beneath the stack of books. I tell myself to breathe, to remember him as he was, sharp, witty, full of life. But my fingers tremble as I sift through the papers. Each one is a reminder of the finality of his absence, a ghost lingering in the corners of this cramped sanctuary. And then I see it. The envelope crisp against the clutter, marked with my name in his familiar scrawl. My heart races, a frantic drum echoing in my ears. With a flick of the wrist, I rip it open. The words on the parchment blur for a moment as the weight of their meaning crashes down. I leave everything to you, my dearest Aurora. Everything. My mind spins, house, investments, his life savings, Rebecca and Julian. The thought of them, their faces twisting with entitlement, slices through my moment of disbelief. They'll come for what they think is theirs, and I'll be standing in the way, a reluctant heiress. Gritting my teeth, I tuck the will back into the envelope, the leather cool against my palm. The tower looms in my mind, its glass facade a stark contrast to the warmth of this study. It's where the real battle, the will that changed everything. Aurora's shocking inheritance. The doorbell rings, slicing through the heavy silence of the living room like a knife. I know who it is before I even glance at the clock. Rebecca and Julian, armed with entitlement and their rehearsed lines about family. The faded wallpaper, once a cheerful yellow, suddenly feels like it's closing in on me. Memories of laughter turning sour in my throat. I open the door and there they are, standing on the threshold like wolves in designer clothes. Rebecca's smile is sharp, all white teeth and calculated charm, while Julian hangs back, his expression a mix of discomfort and determination. I brace myself, this isn't just a social call. It's a declaration of war. Surprised to see us, Rebecca chirps, her voice a little too sweet. I can almost taste the venom behind her words. We had to come and pay our respects, and see how you're handling everything. She glances around, her eyes grazing over the familiar trinkets as if assessing their worth. Thanks for stopping by, I say, forcing the words past a tight throat. But I've got it under control. Under control, she laughs, a sound that grates against my nerves. You're a young woman suddenly thrust into a world of responsibilities. We just want to help you navigate it. Surely you'd want a fair distribution of what's left. Julian shifts, his gaze darting between us. Rebecca, maybe we should. No, Julian, this is important. Her voice flares, cutting him off. Aurora needs to understand that family is everything, or at least it should be. I can feel the anger simmering just below the surface, the will that changed everything. Aurora's shocking inheritance. The kitchen, once a sanctuary of warmth and laughter, now feels like a war room. The scent of my grandfather's favorite bread, fresh from the oven, hangs in the air, but it's overshadowed by the tension crackling between Rebecca and me. I lean against the counter, fingers gripping the edge like a lifeline. Let's cut to the chase, Aurora, Rebecca says, her tone smooth but laced with steel. She steps closer, her designer heels clicking against the tiled floor. You can't possibly think it's fair for you to take everything. We're family after all. A fair distribution is only right. A fair distribution. My heart races, a furious drumbeat against the backdrop of her entitlement. Fair, I scoff, the word tasting bitter on my tongue. You mean what you think you deserve, right? Because you and Julian swooped in after the funeral, thinking you could stake a claim on what's mine. Rebecca's smile falters for just a fraction of a second, but then it's back, all sweetness and charm. I'm just saying life is complicated. You're young and managing this inheritance might be more than you can handle. The challenge in her eyes ignites something within me. I straighten, feeling the weight of my grandfather's legacy pressing down, urging me to stand firm. You have no idea what I can handle. This is my grandfather's legacy, and I won't let you twist it into something to share. The air thickens, heavy with unspoken resentments and the stark contrast of our lives. I glance around the kitchen, where family meals were once shared, now a battleground of conflicting the will that changed everything. Aurora's shocking inheritance. I retreat to my bedroom, the door clicking shut behind me with a soft finality. This space, once filled with warmth and the smell of my grandfather's aftershave, now feels like a vault, one that holds every memory I'm desperate to protect. The walls are lined with framed photographs, each captured moment a reminder of laughter and love that Rebecca's icy intentions threaten to shatter. I sink onto the edge of my bed, the quilt my grandmother made draping over my legs like a comforting embrace. My heart pounds a staccato rhythm, a relentless reminder of the confrontation, her words echoing in my mind. A fair distribution. What does she know about fairness? She's barely been around since the diagnosis, slinking in like a vulture when there's something to be gained. The weight of my grandfather's legacy presses down, heavy and unyielding. I can almost hear his voice, urging me to stand my ground, to fight for what's right. It's not just about the house or the investments, it's about honoring the life he built, the sacrifices made to keep our family together. I won't let Rebecca and Julian tarnish that with their greed. I rise, pacing the room, determined to reclaim my strength. The flickering streetlights outside cast shadows that dance across the walls, a reflection of my turmoil. This isn't just a battle for inheritance, it's a struggle for my identity, for the very essence of who I am. I take a deep breath, allowing the cool night air to fill my lungs. I will fight, I will protect what is mine. After all, family is not about entitlement, it's about loyalty, love and respect. And for the first time in Cousins Clash, Rebecca's demands unleashed, the tower swallows me whole. Its lobby is a cavern of glass and marble, where light ricochets off surfaces too clean, too polished, too sterile for grief to breathe. I stand alone beneath a sculpture of twisted chrome, the receptionist's eyes flicking over me like I'm someone's forgotten appointment. My boots squeak against the floor. I shouldn't be here. I don't belong here, not in this mausoleum of ambition. Everything smells like cold air conditioning and ego. I press my palms together, trying to still the tremor. Grandfather never liked this place. He used to say it was too tall for men who thought too small. And yet here I am, clutching the last of his wishes, walking into a meeting I didn't call, surrounded by relatives who didn't care until money made them sentimental. The elevator ride is long, too long. I stare at the chrome interior and see only my reflection, disheveled hair, tired eyes, and that same stubborn set to my jaw he used to call my steel hinge. He told me once, "Don't flinch, Aurora. People like Rebecca feed on flinching." Back then I thought he was exaggerating, now I know better. When the doors open, I'm greeted by silence, carpeted silence. The floor-to-ceiling windows spill golden light across a meeting room framed in steel and tension. And they're already inside. Rebecca perches on the arm of a leather chair, dressed like litigation itself. Julian stands near the windows, hands in his pockets, face neutral but unreadable. The skyline stretches behind them like a war map. "Aurora," Rebecca says without standing, without smiling. "You came." Her voice slices through the room, smug and expectant, as if she's already won something I didn't know we were competing for. Did I have a choice? I keep my tone even, controlled, measured, a calm surface over a storm surge. She gestures to the seat opposite. "We just want to have a civil discussion, family to family." Julian flinches slightly. That phrase, family to family, it's a blade wrapped in velvet. He knows it. He's not here to fight. He's here to watch us burn. I sit, slow and deliberate, my fingers curling around the edge of the table. If you've come for the will, you've read it, there's nothing to discuss. Rebecca smiles, all white teeth, no warmth. Oh, we've read it. But legality and morality don't always align, darling. Surely you understand that. I meet her gaze, unflinching. What I understand is that Grandpa made a decision. One you don't like. She tilts her head, mock sympathy dripping from every syllable. It's not about dislike, it's about equity. You were close to him, fine, but Julian and I are still family. And you, let's be honest, you don't have the experience to manage an estate of this size. It would be reckless to let you handle it all. Julian clears his throat, trying to thread a needle that doesn't exist. Maybe there's a compromise. Some shared oversight, some stewardship. Stewardship, I repeat, biting off the word. He didn't ask me to share it, he trusted me to protect it. There's a difference. Rebecca's smile fades, her expression sharpening into something jagged. Don't be naive, Aurora, this isn't about trust, it's about control. You were his nursemaid, not his partner. He was an old man, sick and sentimental. We both know grief clouds judgment. Something inside me snaps. You think you can gaslight your way into this inheritance? Is that your strategy? Undermine the dying man's clarity so you can rewrite his will in your image? She leans in. Don't mistake inheritance for justice. You're holding on to something too big for you. Let go before it crushes you. I stand. The skyline behind her glows with the last light of day, but all I see is my grandfather's face, lined, proud, full of quiet wisdom. I see his hands wrapped around mine in the garden, the smell of soil and lemon balm, his voice telling me stories about legacy and wolves in silk. You want me to give it up because it makes you uncomfortable, I say. But I'm not here to ease your conscience, Rebecca, I'm here to honor his. Julian shifts again, but he says nothing. He's already chosen his silence. Rebecca rises too, toe to toe with me now. Then this is war, she says quietly. I nod, then prepare to lose. The room feels smaller now, or maybe I've just grown into the space. Either way, I turn and walk out without looking back, leaving the golden sunset and the two of them behind. Legal warfare. Aurora's battle plan takes shape. The law office looms before me, a fortress of glass and steel that feels utterly foreign. I push through the glass doors, a jolt of anxiety racing through my veins. The reception area is a slick design of modern decor, polished wood, towering bookshelves packed with leather-bound tomes, and the faint, sterile scent of something that smells like money. Every detail screams power, and I feel like an intruder in this world. My heart pounds as I walk to the reception desk, the click of my heels echoing in the cavernous space. Aurora Vale, I say, my voice steadier than the tremor in my hands. The receptionist nods, her eyes flicking over me like I'm just another cog in the machine. I'm not just another cog. I'm the granddaughter fighting for her inheritance, and yet I feel so small against the towering walls of ambition and entitlement. A moment later, my lawyer emerges. Mark's presence is a welcome anchor. He's sharp-suited and disarming, with an easy smile that doesn't quite reach his eyes. Aurora, he says, extending a hand. Ready, ready. I let out a breathy laugh that sounds more like a choked sob. I'm terrified. What if Rebecca pulls something I can't counter? Mark's expression softens, and he gestures for me to follow him into a conference room. More dark wood, more intimidating. We'll stick to the facts. Focus on what your grandfather wanted, that's your strength. I nod, the familiar ache of loss swelling in my chest. This fight isn't just about money, it's about honoring his legacy. What's the first step? I ask, my resolve sharpening. Gather legal warfare. Aurora's battle plan takes shape. I settle into the sleek conference room, the panoramic views of London stretching out before me. The city glimmers beneath a sun that seems oblivious to the storm brewing within my chest. Mark sits across from me, his sharp-suited silhouette a stark contrast to the emotional chaos swirling in my mind. Let's go over the legal implications of your grandfather's will, he says, his voice steady, a calm in the tempest. I nod, trying to focus. The gravity of my situation presses down on me like the weight of the tower itself, looming in the distance, a monument to greed and ambition. He left everything to you, Mark continues, tapping a pen against a neatly organized stack of papers. That puts you in a strong position, but we need to prepare for Rebecca's entitlement. She's not going to back down without a fight. I can almost feel Rebecca's predatory gaze, her polished veneer hiding the sharp edges underneath. The thought ignites a flicker of defiance within me. What are my rights? My voice comes out sharper than I intended, but maybe that's what I need. An edge, a weapon against the family I once thought I knew. Mark leans forward, his eyes locking onto mine with an intensity that makes me feel seen for the first time in weeks. You have every right to defend what's yours. Your grandfather trusted you, and that trust gives you power. Power, the word reverberates in my mind, mingling with the ache of loss. This isn't just about a house or investments, it's about a legacy, my grandfather's love etched into every memory. I can't let Rebecca and Julian erase that. Let's draw up a strategy. I say legal warfare. Aurora's battle plan takes shape. As Mark outlines the strategy, my mind drifts, battling between the present and a flood of memories that crash like waves against the shores of my resolve. I can almost hear the echoes of laughter that once filled our family gatherings, laughter shared with Rebecca and Julian, before everything cracked apart like glass under pressure. I remember summers spent in the garden of my grandfather's house, the smell of blooming jasmine hanging sweet in the air. We'd play tag, our giggles mingling with the chirping of birds, the sun casting a golden hue over everything, making it seem perfect. But even then, I sensed the competition lurking beneath Rebecca's charming smile, a glimmer of ambition in her eyes that was anything but innocent. Rebecca always thought she deserved more, I murmur, the words slipping from my lips before I can catch them. She's never been satisfied unless she was in the spotlight. Mark nods, his pen pausing above the paper as he studies me. And Julian, where does he fit into this? The question hangs heavy in the air, and I flinch at the thought of my cousin's conflicted loyalties. Julian was always the voice of reason, caught in the crossfire of Rebecca's ambition and my quiet determination. I can picture him, standing there, torn between blood and conscience. Julian, he's just as trapped as I am, I reply, frustration bubbling up. He wants to be loyal, but I can't shake the feeling that he's going to side with her when push comes to shove. The tension in the room mirrors my internal conflict, the stakes rising with each passing second. I'm not just fighting for a house, I'm battling for my grandfather's legal warfare. Aurora's battle plan takes shape. As I step out of the law office, the cool London air hits me like a splash of cold water. Invigorating, shocking, a reminder that life continues beyond the polished glass walls of the tower. The cacophony of the city envelops me. Car horns blaring, the murmur of conversations, the scent of street food mingling with the exhaust of buses. I feel the pulse of the city, a stark contrast to the sterile atmosphere I just left behind. My mind races, caught in a whirlwind of strategies and emotions. I'm not just a granddaughter anymore, I'm a warrior preparing for battle. Every step I take down the bustling street feels like a declaration of war against the entitlement that Rebecca embodies. The sun glints off the glass facades around me, a reminder of the power and ambition I'm up against. But beneath that intimidation lies a surge of determination. My grandfather's voice echoes in my mind, urging me to fight for what's rightfully mine. I think of the evenings spent at our family home, the warmth of his laughter, the stories that shaped me. I can't let Rebecca rewrite our family history with her insatiable greed. I brush past a street vendor selling pretzels, the warm, salty scent grounding me, tying me back to the present. I'm not just fighting for a house, I whisper to myself, a fire igniting in my chest. I'm fighting for my family's legacy. With each stride I feel the weight of my resolve harden. I'm ready for whatever Rebecca throws my way. The tower may loom overhead, but it doesn't define me. I will forge my own paths. Betrayal unveiled, Rebecca's true colors shine. The sleek conference room at the tower feels like a cage today, its glass walls showcasing the sprawling city below while closing me in with my own swirling thoughts. Anxiety prickles my skin, an unwelcome reminder that I'm stepping into a den of wolves. I can almost hear the echoes of my grandfather's laughter, but it's drowned out by the distinct hum of tension. Julian is there, his brow furrowed, caught in the crossfire of loyalty and morality, but it's Rebecca who's the wild card. She enters fashionably late, as if orchestrating her own grand reveal, and the air shifts. Confidence radiates off her like the reflection from the tower's polished surface. She's dressed to kill, a sharp suit that screams ambition draped over a body that seems to demand attention. "Sorry I'm late," she chirps, her voice laced with honeyed sarcasm. "I had a meeting with some real decision makers." Her eyes dart to me, a quicksilver flash of superiority. I can feel my heart pound, thrumming against my ribcage. This is the woman who thinks she deserves a slice of what's mine. I swallow hard, pushing back the urge to lash out. "Right, because your real decision makers are so much more important than family." My voice is steadier than I feel. I won't give her the satisfaction of seeing my fear. "Family is such a fluid concept, don't you think?" she replies, a sly smile creeping onto her lips. "It's a game, and I'm the unwitting player. But I won't let her play me, not today. I'm here to defend what my grandfather entrusted to me, even if it means betrayal unveiled." Rebecca's true colors shine. The tension in the conference room thickens. Each breath feels like a weight on my chest as Rebecca glides to the head of the table, her heels clicking like a countdown. Papers lie strewn across the glossy surface, an avalanche of legal jargon that seems to mock me. I can almost hear my grandfather's voice urging me to fight, but doubt creeps in like a shadow. "Now let's talk about the future of Wolf and Carter," Rebecca begins, her tone silky yet dripping with condescension. "Aurora, darling, managing a family fortune is a bit more complicated than managing your grandfather's meds, wouldn't you agree?" Her words cut deeper than I want to admit. I can feel the eyes of family members, a mix of curiosity and skepticism, weighing me down. I glance at Julian, his expression a mix of concern and helplessness. He shifts in his seat like a referee caught between two fighters, but even he can't defuse this bomb. "Rebecca, that's out of line," he finally says, attempting a peacekeeping smile that falters under the pressure. "We're all just trying to navigate this situation together." "Together?" Rebecca scoffs, tilting her head as though Julian has just suggested a family vacation in an uninhabited wasteland. "I think we need to be clear about who's fit to lead this family into the future." Her gaze locks onto mine, a predator sizing up its prey. I can feel my heart thud, rage igniting within me. "What's your angle, Rebecca? You think undermining me will somehow elevate your position?" "Oh please, this isn't personal, it's business." You betrayal unveiled, Rebecca's true colors shine. Rebecca leans over the polished conference table, her voice dripping with condescension. "You're just a caretaker, Aurora. The family business is far beyond your capabilities." The words hang in the air, thick and suffocating, a poison she knows will circulate through the veins of everyone present. I feel a flare of indignation rise within me, hot and blinding. Caring for my grandfather was more than a job, it was a commitment. I can see the flicker of surprise in her eyes, but it's quickly masked by that smug smile. She's underestimating me, and that's a dangerous game. "Commitment? You were merely fulfilling your duties as a granddaughter," she retorts, her tone sharp as a knife. "While the rest of us were building our futures, you were playing nursemaid." The murmuring in the room shifts. I catch Julian's gaze, his eyes are wide, a silent plea for calm. "But this isn't just about me anymore, it's about the family legacy, and I'm ready to fight for it." "Maybe you should reconsider who the real nursemaid is here," I shoot back, my heart hammering as the words slip out. "You swoop in after the funeral, and suddenly you're an expert on family values." "Spare me," Rebecca's face flushes, and for a moment the mask slips. The tension is palpable, almost electric, as the other family members exchange glances, unsure which side to take. With each passing second, the fractures within our once tight-knit family grow wider. I refuse to back down. "If you think I'm going to let you manipulate this situation, you're sorely betrayal unveiled." Rebecca's true colors shine. Julian shifts uneasily, the tension in the air wrapping around him like a noose. Can we just take a breath here? His voice is calm, but it trembles at the edges, a fragile veneer over the storm brewing beneath. This isn't just about you two, it's about the family legacy. We can't tear each other apart over legacy. I cut him off, my voice sharper than I intended. You mean the legacy Rebecca wants to control? The one I've been safeguarding while you both vanished into your little worlds. The words burst forth, fueled by a cocktail of anger and betrayal, boiling over in the sleek confines of this conference room in the tower. Rebecca rolls her eyes, a practiced gesture that screams entitlement. Oh, please, spare us the martyr act, Aurora. You're not the only one with dreams here. Her words drip with disdain, each syllable meticulously crafted to undermine me. You think you can just hold on to everything because you played the dutiful granddaughter. Let's not kid ourselves. My heart pounds in my chest, the weight of her words settling into my bones. I glance at Julian, desperate for solidarity, but his eyes dart between us, caught in a web of loyalty and fear. He's trying to be the peacemaker, but we're too far gone. Rebecca, this isn't just business, Julian pleads, his brow furrowing in exasperation. It's family, we're family, family, I echo, biting back the bitterness clawing at my throat. You mean the kind that shows up only when there's something to gain? The air grows heavy, thick with unspoken accusations and showdown at the tower. Aurora faces Rebecca. The lobby of the tower feels like a tomb, all polished glass and steel that echo the click of my heels, each step heavier than the last. I stand amidst the elite, their designer suits whispering power while I'm dressed in borrowed confidence, a sharp contrast to the sterile brilliance surrounding me. My heart pounds a rhythm of dread, thumping against my ribcage, reminding me of the legacy I carry and the battle that's about to unfold. I can almost hear my grandfather's voice, echoing through the ornate corridors of my memory. Stand firm, Aurora, you're more than they think. But standing firm feels like a luxury I can't afford right now. Rebecca's entitlement gnaws at me, and the thought of her smug smile as she prances through this place makes my stomach twist. The tower isn't just a building, it's a monument of everything I'm fighting against. I mentally rehearse my arguments, the points I've crafted with painstaking care swirling in my mind. They feel flimsy in the face of the cold, affluent aura here, like I'm trying to shout in a soundproof room. I take a breath, steeling myself. If I falter now, I risk losing everything my grandfather entrusted to me. The stakes burn bright and I'm ready to ignite the fire. Showdown at the tower, Aurora faces Rebecca. The courtroom is a stark, imposing space, all polished wood and brass fixtures, where the air feels heavy with anticipation. Sunlight filters through the high windows, illuminating the dust motes that float like ghosts of bygone conflicts. My heart races, each beat echoing the weight of the moment. I glance at Rebecca, who strides in like she owns the place, her designer heels clicking against the marble floor, a queen in her own right, reveling in the spectacle. Shall we begin? She croons, a saccharine smile plastered on her face that barely conceals her venom. Her confidence oozes, and I can't help but feel the pull of her entitlement. I remember our grandfather's stories, his laughter echoing in the warmth of our family home, and the way he always made me feel like I belonged. Let's not forget who inherited this, I counter, my voice steady despite the tremor of my hands. He chose me, not you. The words taste bitter, but I swallow them down, channeling all that anger into something fierce. I'm not just fighting for money, I'm fighting for a legacy, for the love that built it. Rebecca's eyes narrow, and for a brief moment the veneer slips. You think sentiment will save you here? She snaps, her facade cracking just enough for me to see showdown at the tower. Aurora faces Rebecca. The courtroom buzzes with tension, an echo of whispered secrets and muted gasps, the air thick with formality that stifles my resolve. I can feel the weight of the judge's gaze, sharp and discerning, but my focus is locked on Julian, who stands between us like a frail bridge over an abyss of betrayal. His brow is furrowed, a flicker of empathy in his eyes as he attempts to mediate between Rebecca and me. Can't we just talk this out? He pleads, his voice steady but laced with desperation. We're family after all. The words hang in the air, a fragile thread meant to unite, yet all I can feel is the sharp sting of his misplaced loyalty. Family, I scoff inwardly. This isn't family, it's a battlefield where the blood ties feel more like chains than bonds. Rebecca leans in, her smile now a calculated smirk, and I can almost hear the gears turning in her mind. Oh, Julian, you really think we can solve this over tea and crumpets? She purrs, her voice dripping with condescension. I want to scream, to shake him awake from this delusion. You think placating her will fix this? The words burst forth, raw and jagged. I'm not here to play nice, showdown at the tower. Aurora faces Rebecca. The courtroom feels like a cage, the polished wood and brass fixtures closing in as Rebecca takes her turn at the witness stand. She leans forward, a predator sizing up her prey, and I can almost hear the snap of her jaws ready to close around my throat. You know, Aurora, she begins, her voice dripping with feigned concern. It's funny how things come to light after a death. My heart sinks, a stone in my chest, as she leans into the shadows of our family's past. I heard whispers about the reason your grandfather cut you in. You were never meant to lead this family. It was always supposed to be. Enough, my voice bursts forth, raw and desperate. The judge's gavel thunders as I fight to maintain my composure. But the truth is, Rebecca's words land like blows, each one peeling away pieces of my armor. I can feel the cracks forming, the vulnerability threatening to spill over. The air is thick with judgment, and I can see Julian's face twist in an effort to shield me from the fallout. But it's too late. The courtroom buzzes with whispers, and I can almost taste the betrayal on my tongue, bitter and sharp. Am I really the outsider she claims I am? Rebecca's eyes glint with triumph, her smirk a mask of cruel satisfaction showdown at the tower. Aurora faces Rebecca. The silence in the courtroom is suffocating, a thick fog of anticipation that clings to my skin. My heart pounds like a war drum, each beat a reminder that I'm standing on the precipice of reclaiming my life, or losing it all to Rebecca's insatiable greed. The judge's gavel lies heavy in his hand, a silent arbiter of fates, and yet, here I am, ready to fight. Rebecca, I begin, my voice steady despite the tremor in my gut. You speak of family, yet you've turned our legacy into a playground for your ambitions. My grandfather didn't cut you out of the will because he didn't love you. He did it because you've always seen power as your birthright. The courtroom feels electric, the air thick with the weight of my words. Rebecca's expression hardens, but I don't back down. You think your charm can charm the judge? That your pretty lies will erase the truth. You've spent more time plotting than caring, and that's what you'll be remembered for. Julian shifts uncomfortably, caught in the crossfire of this familial war. Aurora, please, he starts, but I don't have time for his misplaced loyalty. I turn back to the judge, the tension in my chest rising like a tide. This is it, the final verdict. Aurora's choice redefines her future. The living room feels like a museum of ghosts as I stand amidst the family photographs, each frame a memory locked in time. My grandfather's favorite armchair sits empty, a reminder of the warmth that once radiated from it. Sunlight pours through the tall windows, illuminating dust motes that dance lazily in the air, and I can almost hear his laughter echoing in the corners of this house, a house that now feels more like a battleground than a home. I clutch my grandfather's will in my hands, the crisp lines of his handwriting a bitter reminder of the legacy he left me. A legacy I never wanted. What did he expect me to do with all this? Rebecca's demands claw at my mind, her entitlement slithering beneath my skin like an unwanted itch. You're just a caretaker, she'd said, her voice dripping with condescension, as if my years of sacrifice counted for nothing. Julian's face flickers in my memory, caught between his sister's greed and the sorrow of our shared loss. I don't want to fight him, but the weight of my inheritance presses down like the oppressive humidity of a July afternoon in London. I can't breathe, can't think, without feeling the walls close in around me, as if they're mocking me for even considering giving in. Is this what you wanted, Grandpa? I whisper, my voice trembling. It feels as though the house itself is listening, waiting for my answer. I know what he would say. He'd tell me to stand firm, to fight for what is rightfully mine. And yet, the thought of Rebecca's smug smile at my defeat twists like a knife in my gut. I take a deep breath, the air thick, the final verdict. Aurora's choice redefines her future. The dining room is a battlefield, the air thick with tension as we gather around the large wooden table, its surface cluttered with documents that feel more like weapons than paperwork. The light from the ornate chandelier overhead casts a harsh glow on Rebecca's face, illuminating her predatory smile. She leans forward, fingers dancing over the pages like a pianist warming up for a concerto, and I can almost hear the sinister notes of her ambitions playing in the back of my mind. "Isn't it charming, Aurora?" Rebecca says, her voice smooth as silk, but the undertone is pure venom. "All this time you thought the house, the investments, the life savings were yours to hoard like a dragon atop its hoard. But really we all know it's a shared legacy, don't we?" Her words slice through me, each syllable a reminder of her entitlement. I flick a glance at Julian, who stands between us, his face a mask of conflict. He's the bridge over a chasm of greed and guilt, and I wonder how long he can hold it together without being swallowed whole. "Rebecca, come on," Julian attempts, his voice strained. "Aurora's been through enough." "This isn't fair." "Fair," she laughs, the sound brittle and sharp. "What's fair is what's legally binding, dear brother. And legally this inheritance belongs to all of us. You should know that by now." I can feel my heart pounding in my chest, each thump a reminder of the stakes. I don't want to be the villain in this twisted fairy tale, but Rebecca's charm is no match for the ugliness lurking beneath her surface. My fingers curl into the final verdict. Aurora's choice redefines her future. The study smells of old paper and polished wood, an intoxicating blend of nostalgia and authority. Books line the shelves like sentinels, their spines cracked from years of wisdom, and I can almost hear my grandfather's voice echoing through the tomes, urging me to find my strength. The heavy desk, cluttered with artifacts of his life, feels like the throne of a king, and I'm no longer just a caretaker. I'm the queen of my own story now. Rebecca stands across from me, her expression a mask of feigned concern, but I can see the greed lurking just beneath the surface, her carefully cultivated charm slipping like a bad actor in a poorly directed play. "You can't be serious, Aurora. You think you can just decide everything on your own." The air crackles between us, thick with the electricity of confrontation. I straighten my back, the weight of her words pressing down, but I won't buckle. "You're right, Rebecca, I can't just decide, I have decided." My voice rings out, steady and fierce. "This inheritance is mine and I won't share it." Julian's eyes widen, caught in the crossfire. I can feel the shift, the ground beneath us trembles, and I wonder if he knows what I'm about to unleash. "She's right," I continue, gripping the edge of the desk like it's a lifeline. "I've spent years caring for Grandpa. I've earned this." Rebecca's smile falters, the facade cracking. "You think this is just about you, you're making a mistake." "No, Rebecca, the mistake was thinking I would let you walk all over me." The words tumble the final verdict. Aurora's choice redefines her future. The city sprawls before me like a shimmering tapestry, the glass and steel of skyscrapers reflecting the fading light of dusk. I stand by the window, the cool glass pressing against my forehead, as if it's trying to absorb the chaos swirling inside me. Below, the streets pulse with life, cabs honking, people rushing, and the distant sound of laughter spilling from local trattorias. It's a vibrant contrast to the storm brewing in my heart. I made my choice. I can still feel the weight of my words hanging in the air, each syllable a stone dropped into the deep well of family loyalty, sending ripples of consequence through my life. This inheritance is mine. The echo of my defiance dances in my mind, exhilarating and terrifying all at once. But what now? I'm standing at the edge of something vast and unknown, like looking down from the Faro di Portofino, the cliffs steep and treacherous. The thought sends a shiver through me. I've taken the plunge, but the waters are murky, and I can't shake the feeling that Rebecca's fury will come crashing down like a rogue wave. I turn my gaze back to the city, the lights twinkling like stars trying to break through the smog of ambition and deceit. I'm filled with a newfound sense of agency, a fire ignited by my refusal to be just another pawn in this family chess game. I can almost hear my grandfather's voice whispering encouragement, urging me to stand tall. The world outside may be chaotic, but inside I'm steady. I will not be intimidated. I will not back down. This is my inheritance, and I will protect it with everything I have. That's Aurora's story of standing up to family greed and fighting for what's rightfully hers. But tell me, what would you have done in her shoes? Would you have shared the inheritance or fought tooth and nail like Aurora did? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I love hearing your takes on these intense family dramas. If you're craving more stories about people who refuse to back down when everything's on the line, smash that subscribe button and hit the bell for notifications. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. And if this story fired you up as much as it did me, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who needs to hear about standing their ground. Until next time, keep fighting for what's yours.